Yeah.
Yeah. Or rather, it's to get it correct, we have to call that the coronary band or the coronet. Yeah?
Okay.
It's not the coronet band, as I quite wrongly started off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that acts in main blood supply to the foot. Also, there you have the periopic corium,
Okay.
which actually produces the periopal, which is that rough surface that grows down.
Okay.
But also the periopic corium produces the shiny part on the outside of the foot. Yeah,
Right, okay.
that very outer layer of the
Yeah.
hoof wall. The coronet itself produces the inner layer of the hoof wall.
Right.
Yeah. Then going inwards, you will have the epidermal laminae.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the laminae that is attached to the hoof wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the epidermal laminae takes the energy from the dermal laminae and produces its own hoof wall. So
Okay.
you've got 3 layers of hoof wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Epidermal, coronet layer, and then the outer shiny layer.
Yeah.
But really, you can't say there's 3 layers. There's just one hoof wall. There's no defined boundaries between any of them except for perhaps the shiny layer.
Okay.
Yeah, you've just got hoof wall, but it's produced in 3 different places. Yeah, that's simple. That's hoof wall. So you've got epidermal laminae and then the dermal laminae. They just join together. Yeah, you know the way they work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then next to the dermal laminae, what the dermal laminae grows on is the coffin bone, pedal bone, third phalanx, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the next structure. If you get to the bottom of there, you then have the what would be called the sole corium, which is the bit that grows the sole. But in other words, the laminae of the sole. Yeah.
Yes.
That's attached to the bone there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a joint on the underside of there that attaches actually to the sole.
Yeah.
And they work relatively mostly the same as producing hoof wall, but it's just a slightly different texture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the sole.
Yeah.
Coming forward, you have the joint where you have the laminae coming down and the laminae coming under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you have that joint, and the actual joint itself tends to be further down here at the bottom of the sole, and that would be your white line.
Yeah.
Right, so we got hoof wall, white line, sole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you come back, the hoof wall itself turns in round. Yeah. And
Yes.
comes along the side of the frog, along the collateral groove.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is actually part of the hoof wall itself. It isn't separate. It's part of the hoof wall, the bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the frog corium. Now you could say the frog and the frog corium are the same thing. It's just that the frog corium produces the upper layer, which is the frog. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah. Underneath the frog, you have the digital cushion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And on top of surrounding the digital cushion, you'll have a lot of fibrocartilage. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, so if you went frog corium, digital cushion, bit of fibrocartilage, then you would have the deep digital flexor tendon coming down, going round the navicular bone and underneath and attaching to the pedal bone, coffin bone, or third phalanx, depends what you want to call it. Yeah, so then you have the navicular bone there,
Yeah.
and then that is roughly
The foot.
the foot.